What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Salud Cabrones podcast. I am Danny Villegas.
And I am Javier Ledesma.
And before we get started, we ask that you like, comment, subscribe, and share the Salud Cabrones podcast on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, and YouTube. And follow us on all social media platforms at Salud Cabrones Podcast. And we want to give a big special shout out to our sponsors, the Law Office of Christopher Hoff. We have...
we got a lot of them now, Danny.
We got a lot of them now.
Everybody's hopping on board, baby.
Yeah,
Woo!
I appreciate that, man. The Law Office of Christopher Hoff. We have the newest sponsor, Chi-Town Effects Tattoo, and the Lucha Libre Superstore. Big shout out to Rick Dog, man, and to Wrestling Tees, the T-shirt brothers all the way from Canada, who
Bam
designed this T-shirt for us, man. Wrestling Tees out in Canada. We appreciate you guys, man. And don't forget to buy some Salud Cabrones merch at Pro Wrestling Tees. Type in ProWrestlingTees.com. Type in Salud Cabrones Podcast in the search engine, and bam, rock out with one of these badass shirts. Javier, we have a very special guest, man. One of the wrestling brothers. I mean,
it's a special one.
It is.
It is.
It is. I mean, there's so much to say about this guy.
I've wanted him in the podcast for a while. You know that we've talked about this, and we're so freaking happy to have him here. Now we're hyping him up, and he's like, "Shit, guys, I ain't got nothing to say."
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Mr. Quinn Whittock with us today, man.
Now I feel like I'm going to be like overwhelmingly boring. You guys gave me so much on that introduction.
I know that's what Danny is, man.
No,
Danny has the Latinos put it out there. He likes to like spread the sour cream on the tacos, right, bro?
Más crema en los tacos, wait. But no, Quinn, man, thanks for joining us, bro. We appreciate it, man.
Thank you guys for having me, dude.
Yeah, dude,
awesome
for sure.
You guys got
Thank you, man.
Studios.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, we want, like Javier said, we've been wanting to have you on for a while, bro. Obviously, you know, we know you through wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, one of the wrestling brothers, bro. How long you been in the game for?
Oh, shit. In a lot of ways, there's probably like 2-3 answers to it. But I mean, like, do you guys remember PCW?
Yeah.
Back
Yeah,
in,
yep.
the 2000s and stuff. I started like doing music and like ring teardown and stuff in like 07, 08 for PCW.
Oh, no shit.
So
Okay.
I've been, like, kind of like in touch with the happenings of like the area for
that was kind of like my
half my
local
life
Big
now.
Fed. So I used to go there because living here, they used to always work out of like Oak Lawn and all that stuff. So I remember going up there. I used to go to the Ring of Honor shows just past there. So I remember they would sometimes run on the same days.
Chicago Ridge over there.
Yeah,
Yep.
they would sometimes run on the same day. I'm like, shit, what am I gonna do? I gotta go see both. But yeah,
They used to run the Midlow Dome over there, and like we grew up in Midlothian, and I never knew wrestling existed in my neighborhood until like, I want to say like 07, 08 when I found like PCW. We were rocking around Oakfest in Oak Forest and like came across a wrestling ring. I was like, oh,
isn't it wild?
it's not just on television.
Yeah.
What, dude?
I love that story, and there's so many wrestlers that have been on this show that tell us that exact same
Yeah.
story. Like, I didn't know wrestling existed outside of TV.
I thought it was just a TV show
Yeah.
for the longest
Yeah.
time.
Right, yeah.
How do you get involved? Where do they find these
I
guys?
never knew there was something called independent wrestling. I never knew about that until I saw it, man. I went to one of my first show probably around that time. Probably probably about 06, 07 around there. And then I was like, holy shit. Like, I didn't know it was like right here down the street from my house, and I can fucking go see it.
It's so local and it's so like right there. But
Yeah.
It's like right underneath your nose. You can't see it.
I don't know if you guys ever remember like the old cable access shows. I remember watching like I think it was like on channel 26 or something, and there was like a local access where they would show Windy City Pro Wrestling.
Yes.
And that was the only like inkling that I knew that there was something outside of TV wrestling. Like I knew that there was something here in Chicago because at the time, being a big Rob Van Dam guy that I was growing up, Rob Van Dam wrestled. I think it was Terry, and it was on that, and I remember just going like, "Holy shit, Rob Van Dam's wrestling like a local guy." That was my first inkling of there's some world of wrestling outside of what we see on TV.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah.
So is that when you started, like 07 around there?
No, I was just doing like ring crew, music, ringing the bell, bringing everyone's gimmicks back to the locker room. And shit
How old
like
were you at that time?
I was like 13.
Okay.
And
Oh,
I'm
wow.
31 now.
31?
So that was like a really long time ago. There was a good like 5-6 year span in my teenage years where like I turned into a fucking criminal and like got out of touch with like wrestling and like the
I had a different career at that time. Different career path.
I had a life before you guys met me here.
yeah.
Dude, 31. Shit, man. 10 years younger than me, bro. Holy shit.
You look good for 41, dude.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you. You're like fucking 18 years younger than him, bro. So
I know what I believe.
Oh wow, man. It's the gray and the beard, assholes.
but no, so what was your first introduction to wrestling? When did you start watching as a kid, or what grew you to it?
My very first memory, like as a human being, is watching Ric Flair cut a promo on WCW Nitro.
Yeah, okay.
It's like the first, like, if I go back in my brain and I try to like Rolodex back to the earliest memory, it always comes back to being 4 years old, living in this apartment in Blue Island, right off Western, and Ric Flair's cutting a promo holding the big gold, and he's doing the four for the four horsemen, and I was like, fucking, I'm four, dude, I love you. And, like, it was the robes and the hair, and he did the four, and I was like, that's how I showed everybody I was four. Like, how old are you?
Boom.
So Ric Flair was your introduction to pro wrestling.
Yeah,
that's awesome,
I
dude.
saw him, and he had the horsemen there, and Dean looking like a brick shit house, and Arn looking like he won't mess around with anyone.
Oh, that's the Dean incarnation. That's what Benoit and all them. So yeah. That was a cool incarnation of the Horseman. I generally like that because that was like, I believe that was the workers type version of the Horseman, because all of those guys can go. None of them were entertainment value, so to speak, because they were all like, we're gonna
put lean on the crutch of like just being entertainment.
Yeah, exactly. No, these guys can fucking work. Yeah. I remember seeing that version of the Horseman. I fucking loved it. So that's Nitro days, man.
Can you imagine those guys in their prime today, in today's wrestling?
Shit, dude. Benoit and Dean. I still believe the Texas Cloverleaf is the best submission of all time.
Yeah, one of my favorites.
Yeah,
one of my favorites ever.
Fucking love that shit, man. I put so many little kids in that shit when I was like playing soccer back in the day. You scored on me. Cloverleaf, motherfucker.
I think that's why I like it so much. I grew up with younger brothers, so like wrestling around, I just like sink that in, flip it over so quick.
Yeah.
Like, this is so easy, and it looks really painful for you, dude.
My son Liam has been a victim of the Cloverleaf every now and then.
It's funny that you say, your inspiration into it was Ric Flair, because your style in wrestling is complete opposite, know, in a way. Yeah. So where did your style come from?
I guess it just like evolved naturally. I'm always a big advocate of like, if everyone's doing this, that's the first thing you don't do. Pick something completely else otherwise. So like, I see around like Chicago, I see a lot of like work rate wrestlers, for lack of a better term, but like wrestle, and like the more that I can like cut a promo or like slow something down and like give this crowd this like evil face, or like one of my favorite moments that I've had recently over like the last year was, I want to say like the second time I wrestled Mason Perks at POW, and like I ended up having given away some business here. I'm sorry, but did this spot where there would be like up and over, and I like, oh shit, I fucked up my knee, and it kind of slows down the match. I'm like, oh, is he really hurt? And he goes to like sit on the ropes to like let me out and fucking boot him with those supposedly bad legs. And like, that sound that I got from the crowd was like, I noticed like they popped off of it, like, oh, I guess he's not hurt. But then I turned around and gave him this like, this, like devilish, like laughing kind of smile, and that like turned it into this other reaction that I got. So whenever
did you feel the goosebumps when you did that because you knew you got them?
Yeah,
dude, I love those moments, man. Sometimes they're the most simple things that we do in wrestling, and they give you like the biggest chills where you're like, holy shit.
And I guess that's worked. What I was just getting at there, is that like there's these other little like things that I notice, and it's not to say that like I don't like anyone else's wrestling. I love all that wrestling has to offer, but like whenever you see that like your market is lacking something, like you have an opportunity to like provide that, like, come up with a different version of you. Who knows? I've had like 1,000 versions of me. Joey Dalton's had like 1,000 versions of himself before he gets to being Steven Flo. And, like, just run the gamut, I guess, of just try. So I could like, to answer the Ric Flair question that we kind of like veered away from, but kind of back to, I have no idea what like really was like the main cause of like, oh, why do you wrestle this way? Isn't like Ric Flair, but how do you get here? Like, there's like a competition of other like there's a lot of guys out here, especially in this area, that can do a lot of crazy stuff.
Yeah,
and like I feel myself not getting any younger. You know, I don't think I'm backflipping as much as these kids now. Like,
Danny just sent me a video the other day. I've been busting his balls about this shit. We did this movie a while back, and the director wanted him to do a hurricanrana, and he got me in there to be his fight partner. So he's beating the shit out of me in this scene. And he's like, yeah, I can do this hurricane. I'm like, I've never seen you do a fucking hurricane in your fucking life, dude. I've never seen that in your goddamn career. How the hell are you going to pull this one off? You've never done it. The other day, he sent me a video. He's like, hey, fucker, look at this. And it was him doing a hurricane, bro.
See, but that was also like 15 years ago. It's a big difference.
It's a big difference.
Oh,
So
I was-
you made it seem like it was just like recent.
No, bro.
I just did this
dude.
yesterday.
No,
dude.
I was still in my mid 20s, bro, when that shit happened. Okay, so-
I saw some of the moves he did, and I'm like, yeah, that was definitely, 10 plus years ago.
yeah,
Like you said, you don't see yourself backflipping anymore. Exactly. Danny's style changed over the years. He went from doing what he was doing, and now he's a ground and pound type guy. Mm-hmm. I've seen your matches, and you are insanely athletic, but the pace in which you work is very methodical, and then you have bursts of speed in there. They're not always there. Like you just had that match at Fab Mania, and we had Quintero on that match. Quintero is like 100 miles an hour almost all the time, and that works for him and his style.
Yeah.
You put you in
He's
that
totally
match.
in like a physical place in his like career in life and like his development as a human being as well, to where like he can fucking run that shit.
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah,
He's
bro.
so
It's
good at
ridiculous the
running
shit that he can do right now.
Yeah.
And eventually, there will come a time when he's going to have to tweak his style, just like we all did,
Absolutely.
right? And for example, you, like I was saying, is like you have this moment where you're doing these moves and you're letting everything kind of just soak in. And then all of a sudden, there's like, brah! You do all these crazy things and everybody goes, there's like a gasp. I'm like, where did that come from? Because he wasn't moving that fast earlier. Is that by design?
Yes. Yeah, well, without giving away too much of my Quinn secrets here, I watch a lot of Attitude Era wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And if you watch, like I'll sit here for like a couple weeks and just like I got a Google Home or like a Chromecast thing on the TV in my room, and then I'll be like off in my office. So every time I walk by the TV and shit, like I'm hearing whatever's coming off of it, and it's always just Attitude Era Raw, like mid '90s, like right as it's turning into Attitude Era up until like the peak of like 316. And then I'll just start back again, and I just like keep myself in that mode. And if you watch a lot of the like episodes of Raw back then, it's like 15 fucking matches per episode. They're
Yeah.
all going like 3-4 minutes.
Yeah.
And like the guys, like they get out there and they're just throwing hands. And then a cool spot happens, and then slow it back down to just like throwing hands. Go for a pin maybe or something, slow it down, and go back throwing hands, kicks, whatever the fuck. And it's like, it's about being an engaging character that can keep them caring, even though you're just punching and kicking and, and like, I've always loved that, watching like the Rock and Stone Cold main events oh my God, dude, their WrestleMania 19 match, there was like 10,000 punches thrown. And you hear a lot of like old schooler cats around the area like, oh, if you punch somebody in the face 500 times and they're not bleeding, or they're like, then why did these guys make millions of dollars?
yeah. Those two were definitely the flagship of the Attitude Era, Rock and fucking
They
Stone
had
Cold.
a wonderful sense of that, being able to like speed it up, this, then a couple like reversals, and then something, slow it down. And the Rock's gonna like put on Stone Cold's vest and talk shit and walk around the ring, like
entertain.
Like, exactly. They knew how to like give them the wrestling, but then switch gears and make it this entertaining thing, and then bring it back into wrestling. Like they knew their hows and their wins, like so
Easy to
pristinely
say
clean.
that those guys are the foundation of today's wrestling, of the way we see it as far as the entertainment value of it.
I feel like everything gets compared to them too.
Yeah.
Like if someone gets something cool, like but it's not Stone Cold.
Yeah, you mentioned Flair earlier. Like there was a time when Flair and Hogan were those guys, and then there was the Shawn and Bretts. Then there was the Rock and Stone Cold. I think there's always those pairs of guys that really define those moments.
I like to think nowadays we got Cody and Roman.
Cody and
And
Roman.
if it's not Cody and Roman, it's Roman twice.
Yeah, yeah, bro. The
That's the
elevation,
big dog in the tribal chief.
the elevation of Roman Reigns, bro. Holy shit. Yeah,
Right? I've been saying it for like the last like couple of years. Like since he came back during COVID, and I was like, oh, look at his teeth. They're fucking beautiful. Oh my god. Like no, he's switching gears. Dude.
Yeah.
Like he was beefed up. So he was like, no,
Yeah.
this is how I look now.
Yeah.
I actually took that thing off, and this is what I've always looked under. We've
It's
mentioned
like,
that
look,
before on
I'm
the show.
jacked.
Before. Yep.
I
Yeah.
could just wrestle in a shirt and be jacked as fuck.
Yeah, bro. So then, how old were you when you actually started training in pro wrestling?
I did a couple camps with some of the guys at PCW. They taught me I've known how to like bump and run the ropes and do like rolls and stuff, like your basic 101 like mechanical movements, since I was like maybe 15, 16.
Okay.
But I didn't get into like actually like learning the game psychologically and how to put things together. I've been listening to guys forever in the locker room since I'm like setting up the music and they're calling their match. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. I get why you would. It's like picking up little things, but like actually doing it started 20 years old.
Okay. And you started in PCW? That was where you started training?
No, I started training. So I didn't like sign up with anyone's school. It was back in that like before the like the Chicago wrestling school boom. You know, I think it was maybe like Boz and Jimmy Blaze had like the only schools going at the time.
Yeah, yeah.
And my brother-in-law, who was trained at Windy City, I don't know if you guys remember Misfit Manners.
Sounds really
The
familiar.
name sounds really familiar.
Mohawk, face paint, big like Ultimate Warrior vibes
Okay.
and shit.
That's your
Yeah.
brother-in-law?
That's my brother-in-law.
Okay.
Him getting like with my sister, she started managing. She kind of like never lost touch with what she was doing in the business, so she starts managing him back.
So this is a family affair.
Oh, dude, if I could tell you the amount of people that hey, my house is open and I have like 5 open couches, and all of a sudden like 20 wrestlers are in my living room. Like, I guess we're going to the store and buying like 9 loaves of bread to make French toast and shit for everybody.
So did it start with your sister?
Yes. So that show I told you guys about, where I'm like walking through this festival, I see the ring, and I'm like, it's not just television. We pick up a flyer, and on the bottom of it, you know, Rick Knight has his phone number, and it says, you want to be a manager, wrestler, or valet? Call this number. And my sister calls it. I would love to wrestle. She goes through like 2-3 weeks of wrestling training, realize this shit fucking hurts. She was like, maybe I'll just manage or valet or something. So she starts being a manager, and some kind of, I forget what the situation was, some kind of things go like awry with PCW, but then she gets hit up by one Billy Whack.
Billy.
Love that guy so much. Adore me some Billy Whack. She gets hit by Billy Whack, who's like starting some stuff up with Sam DeCero at the time that I don't think ever really like came to full fruition, but they were filming a bunch of stuff and doing house shows for like media and content and stuff. And she gets hit up to manage this guy Misfit Manners, and she like shows me, and I'm like, damn, he's got a cool fucking look. He should totally like just dive right back like wholly into wrestling. So I started like going to the shows with her and setting up and doing stuff again, and me and Misfit end up hitting it off. And I'm like, all right, you can date my sister. Then slowly over the course of the next like handful of years, that man would like become my best friend. And like I always like to say, like I never like paid for training, but I paid for training in like other ways. Like it was like my older brother bullying
Gotcha.
me.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
like, come on, we're going to the gym and you're gonna learn fucking pile drivers tonight. But I don't wanna. I'm scared.
So
That's
then,
awesome. Everyone has a great story about how they got in, man. And
Yeah.
Not always the simple, hey, I paid and this is where I go. Not always the same way.
Yeah, I always love like hearing about like when people like have a little like touch with a certain industry or profession, and then they like kind of get away with it, but like you felt it pulling you back, like it drew you right back in.
He knows my story, man. I got in it without any fucking training. My very first match was me doing somebody a favor because a bunch of wrestlers called off in a snowstorm. and there was a show, and my buddy knew that I loved it so goddamn much. He's like,
Just
"Hey man,
you know how to wrestle? No, you're fucking.
and they threw me in there, and
fucking
it was
awesome.
supposed to be like a quick thing. I was supposed to get a squash match, and then I hit a super kick or a rock bottom. I can't remember what it was. And I go to pin the guy. He was supposed to kick out, and then I was supposed to take his finish. And I go to pin him. 1,
Are you
2.
fucking laid
And
down
then
for
and
you?
he goes, "Thanks for coming out, brother." And I go, "Did I just win my first fucking match? What the fuck?"
What a sweetheart.
I was
Oh
like,
my
"What
God.
the fuck?" Backstage, they're like, "Did you like it?" I'm like, "Dude, I fucking loved it." "You're gonna train." "Oh, so I just can't get back in the ring like I didn't?" "No." God
It
damn it.
don't work like that, dog.
It don't work around
It don't
here.
work like that, brother. It
Your
don't work.
first taste is free.
Yeah, that's how they hooked me, man. I was like, "God damn it."
So then, like you say, like, because you're in it at 12, 13 years old, helping out with the ring, stuff like that. You're hearing other guys, talk, put stuff together. You're kind of doing stuff here and there. But once you actually get into it, and you're learning the psychology of the business, taking the bumps and everything, now how is that feeling?
I remember my very first day of like coming into practice. So like, not to make a big like woe is me story. I ended up inadvertently like surviving a suicide attempt. I took a whole big bottle of pills.
Oh shit!
And yeah, the ones with like a bunch of codeine in them and stuff. I was like, this won't let me wake up. And like,
So you were actually trying to do something?
yeah, and like 30 something hours later, I like wake up in a puddle of my own puke, and I'm like, oh well, that didn't work, and like didn't feel like telling anybody around me at the time, so it was like, just deal with it, and like even lower. So I ended up like reaching out to my brother-in-law, like, hey, help, and I like explained my whole situation. He was like, you need to come into practice.
So
I was like, oh, is it that simple? He's like, for most of us, we know that like we're not getting to the main event of WrestleMania, and we're not making millions of dollars. Like for a lot of us, we need this because this is like it's something that you can get good at, something you can consistently get better at, develop a sense of self-esteem and shit like that. And like, so I remember going into my first day of practice. He had us come into the Berwyn Eagles Club, set up this 18 by 18, get everything absolutely perfect, the apron, everything like it's on a show. Now get out of the ring, 1,000 squats, noodle legs, dude. And now like after this whole big like warm up that like he would always go down to Harley races in Japan and train with the New Japan and ROH and WWE guys during like Harley like tryout week and stuff. So he just brought that whole warm up that they would run them through up to us, and that was like our warm up before we get in the ring and start like running drills. Now that my legs are numb.
Yeah.
But
So wrestling saved your life.
yeah, totally, 100%.
Wrestling definitely saved your life.
100,000%.
Yeah.
Yeah, like $1,000,000%. Yeah,
So that's why you have so much more love for it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why, if anybody knew me in the first like 7 years of my career, I'm so sorry.
And why is that?
Dude, because I took this and myself so seriously because of that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is the thing that saved my life. And like, I felt like some kind of piece of like ownership over
Yeah.
it. And like, nobody owns fucking wrestling.
Right.
Like,
So you were trying to gatekeep it almost.
like,
So-
ugh.
I
was such an asshole, dude. Like, there's certain instances that like I've forgotten about, but I'll be like making a cup of coffee, and then like my brain will be like, "Remember that one time you were a complete jagoff to that kid that just wanted to train with you?" I'm like, "Oh, stop."
Oh, so what was it? What was that moment when you were like, you know what? I need to change this shit. I need to stop being a dick and just appreciate, what I'm doing.
Man, that was like a gradual thing.
Or what was it that made you want to change your attitude?
I don't remember like where I was or anything. I remember like the thought that I had and like how I pictured it in my head was that like I realized that all the younger kids that I was being a dick to are me. Like that's you. That a handful of years ago, that was you. Imagine if like you came up to your brother-in-law, hey, I want to train to wrestle because I feel like shit about myself. Fuck you, you suck. And I don't like. Imagine if that had like you don't know what kind of battle someone else is fighting in their own head and shit. And like this kid's probably beating himself up, and like now you just added to it. And like I came to a realization moment of that. And I'm like, wow, you've been being a prick to fucking everyone because you think you know better.
But a lot of that, it's kind of interesting that you brought that up. A lot of the old veterans kind of instilled that in us.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel wrestling now is a lot more inclusive than it used to be. And it's weird where I'm going to say it's like I do like it like how it is now. Don't get me wrong.
There's
But
certain values that I do like
exactly.
miss about that. Like there's
Thank
certain
you.
ways that you would end up learning certain values because of
agree.
going through those trials the old way. But like, I don't know, I'm never like is it like do you vote red or blue? Like I'm firmly convinced that everybody in this country is different shades of purple. You know, so like if you view life as like black or white, you're really in this gray area with everyone else that's actually like the meat and potatoes of this fucking country
Right.
and of this world. You know, so like there's got to be some kind of middle ground between like
The old and
keeping
new.
those
Yes.
old values with the sternness that they would, but not being so like mentally fucking horrific to people and like hazing and bullying them into it, you know, like yeah.
So now going into this, now we've obviously you're training and you're doing all this. You spent a good amount of years, being the gatekeeper, so to speak, but you're softening your stance on everything. As you as a performer during that, and how that's impacting who you are. How are you taking those lessons that obviously you're learning as a human being, and kind of calming down? How are you taking those lessons and putting them in the ring when you're performing?
I think the clearest example of it is there's a handful of matches that I had at we had this thing called Wrestle League Proving Grounds way back in like the adolescence, the little baby years of Wrestle League, right after it started, or right after it stopped being JPW, started being Wrestle League. We just had these like very underground feeling wrestling shows. We'd pack like 150 people in this little room, like up on this like 16-foot low boy, and just let these kids go fucking wild. And my matches from then kind of like, I fancied myself as like a wrestling purist, and like, no, well, you wouldn't let go of the headlock because transfer that. Why would you let go of that? You're already winning, and like all those old, like the Windy City-isms.
I love the way you refer to that, because all of us in this room know exactly what that means.
So there's a whole slew, like my first, like, and probably why, it's like, my trainer was trained by Sam and like Boz and a whole bunch of guys that were at Windy City doing the training before everything split off and Windy City shut down or whatever. And he's always held Sam in like such high regard, and I never wanted to disrespect him in that way. So like, oh, well, my wrestling has to match what my trainer says. And like, before I'm really finding myself, like everyone else, you just want to like be a mini version of the guy that broke you in so that he's happy and does a little more for you. And you can, like, and not even like you're trying to manipulate anybody. It's just like, that's what your brain's doing. Like, this guy giving me a shot. I want to make him proud. So I'll be like him. So I was trying to be like him. And like, he had those views because, that ilk of guys had those views. And I think if you look at my matches then versus like my matches now, like, I'm a fucking cocaine monster that pulls out a baggie and fucking dumps it. So like,
For everyone wondering what that means, you guys aren't just talking. You guys aren't just listening to Quinn Whittock's words. You're actually listening to the viral sensation of CoKane.
I am the black and white rendition.
I was saving that for a little bit later in the show, but I'm glad you just brought it up.
It's a good segue. It's a definitely good segue, because I was actually, my next question was going to be about your character development. Getting into it, and when you first start wrestling, how are you building your character? What did you debut wrestling as? Was it always Quinn Whittock, or And then I was going to get into.
Let's talk about that, because eventually, now that we let the cat out of the bag, we're going to have you guys wait. We're going to talk about CoKane. It's going to be a little later. We're going to hit up everything that came before CoKane.
We'll get you guys there. Just follow me, kid. So when I debuted as wrestling, or as a wrestler, I'm looking for like a name, and I'm remember this is like 2015, 16, and like NXT is starting to pop, and there's like a whole bunch of guys with these wild ass, like, we used to call them NXT names. There was like fucking like Finn Balor and like Sami Zayn, and like, these are not real people.
I mean, just look at Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
She's a fucking, obviously, superstar right now, but I love when she talks about her name, she's Rhea, like I think it's like a goddess or something. Then Ripley, we all kind of knew where Ripley was coming from. We're like, hell yeah, that's fucking badass. But you're right. These weird ass names that in NXT that came out, boom.
And for a good handful of years, it was just like weird names with like Z's and Y's and X's and shit all over them. And you're like Braxton Sutter. Like, I don't know if that's someone's name. If it is, I'm so sorry, dude. But
He's in the main roster right now.
But like, there's always like something with like a whole bunch of hard consonants that sounds like he's a tough guy and stuff. And like, so I'm like, not like that. I don't want anything like that. I want something a little something
Like a Braun Breaker.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly, right. Which like I love him, but like,
Can you just be a Steiner? That's what I want. That's what I want.
I didn't want to be the one to set it.
I laid it up for you, bro.
Right in the pot, dude. Yeah, I'm looking through like the internet for like bad guys of history, and I'm like, I remember contemplating like Benedict Whittock or like some shit. I'm looking for just like bad guy names that like you would associate
Sounds like
with
exactly
someone.
like what I did.
So like going through, and I end up finding the old like 2000s, earlier 2000s version of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire from Britain. And there's, I think his name is like Charles Ingram or something. This guy ended up coming up with a plan with another one of the contestants that they were going to bounce answers off each other and cheat and fucking win this $1 million and split it. And I was like, oh, that guy's a piece of shit. What's his name? And his name was Quinn Whittock. I was like,
Quinn Whittock?
Tequin's Tecquin. So I was like, that's fucking unique. No, like I'm gonna go to I could go to a show halfway around the world and I'm pretty sure I won't find a Tequin. So like, Tequin Whittock. So like I go to my first like handfuls of shows with his name. And they're like, hey kid, what do you call yourself? I'm like, Tequin Whittock. And these ring announcers are like, fucking what, dude? What the fuck kind of name is that? Unfucking real, dude.
So you were first started off as Tequin Whittock. So
Well,
when
his name was spelled Tecwen, and I was like, make it a little different. And with how I spelled it was Tecquin, so Tequin.
So what made you take off the TE?
Everybody going, what the fuck is Tequin, dude? That name fucking
Y'all a bunch of
sucks.
haters out there, man. Can't let a brother just be Tequin.
Hey, they were just mad because they
I was
didn't
like,
come.
you know what? I could probably just be like Quinn. You think I pull off Quinn? I remember asking my brother-in-law, like, I look like a Quinn, right? And he's like, you totally don't look like a fucking Quinn at all, dude. Like,
And you're like, Quinn it is.
well, you know what? Fuck you, dude. I'm doing it anyway. And it's caught on. I feel like it did take a little second for it to be like, Quinn. All right, Quinn, fine.
So you start off Tequin Whittock.
Yeah, Tequin Whittock.
People are shitting on your name. You know, well, fuck you. I'm gonna take off the TE then. I'm sticking with
Convinced
Quinn.
of that last name. I liked Whittock.
Yeah, I like that name.
Whittock.
I like the last name
It is
Whittock.
very
Yeah,
unique.
yeah.
It's very fun to write. There's a lot of up and down strokes in the writing of it and stuff.
Did you practice that signature? Like, I'm going to
so
have to
many
give all
times.
these autographs.
So many times. Anytime, like, because I've had like 9 characters now or some shit. Like every time it's like, hey, I need you to be this. I'm like, all right, let's figure out this fucking autograph here.
9 characters. Okay, so go through this list of names here that you've been.
That was probably more of an embellishment. It's probably like 5 or 6.
Okay.
But Quinn. I came up with one that is now the drug demon of JCW. That was Creature. And I've since turned Creature into CoKane, so like kind of wrapped those into one. And I have
That's when I found you, actually.
yeah.
I was telling Danny, I'm like, he used to do Quinn the Creature.
Yeah.
That's when I found you on social media one time. I was like, who the hell is this guy? I'm like, I saw some pictures that you had with your mask and you looked like you were ripping it off or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's fucking cool.
I worked so hard on that fucking mask. Dude. I had it commissioned by a guy named honestly don't know his name. Hunter. No, yes I do. Hunter. Hi. Sorry. I'm plugging you, dude. H7 underlined HC on Instagram. The guy makes a bunch of awesome work. And like, fun fact, Stephen Flo actually bought me that mask
Nice.
years ago. He was like,
Who
"Hey
is
man,
this Stephen Flo you
happy
speak
birthday." Love this kid. Dude.
Stephen Flo.
For those who don't know, Stephen Flo, much like Jay and Silent Bob, Stephen Flo is my hetero life mate.
He does cup the balls every now and then, but he's still very hetero.
He'd hug me and be like, "Oh, thank you so much for that match, dude." And then I'm like, "Get your hand off my ass."
So Quinn, the creature, and then what came next?
Quinn, and I turned that into like creature, and then it was like Quinn the creature, and then it's fucking CoKane, so there's like 3 there. Super wrestlers, I play Vlad Bladder. I am which is September 13th, next Super Wrestlers. I'm Vlad Bladder, teen vampire, but then some crazy shit happened in a match one time. I was wrestling for the big prize, and a full moon came out, and I ended up turning into a teen wolf. So now I'm Vlad Bladder, teen wolf, and who knows what's going to happen with me next. So there's like Tequin, Quinn, the evolution of shit, and I got a call last summer from a certain face-painted clown that does a lot of really cool music, and he offered me a job, and part of the job was entailing being Pink Cane for a couple days on this tour, and then we'll say we got a cease and desist, and then we'll be Yellow Cane, and then we got a cease and desist.
Really? So you were different color canes.
It was Pink Cane, fucking cease and desist, and we're like, Yellow Cane, cease and desist. Again, fuck, all right. And then the Devil's Night pay-per-view for JCW last year was the first time I came out as the black and white 8-ball wielding
CoKane. Because
Yeah.
that was that viral video that went around. You
Which,
were
we have since gotten
Another cease and desist.
paperwork that said, cut that shit out or we'll sue you.
So that's why the character changed looks of how it is.
Yeah.
So
And it's like so quickly too. I feel like it popped, and then like one of the next shows I had to like switch up the look and everything. So
this is how much
we're not getting
that
sued.
this is how much that had an effect on social media, man. Like I have friends send me messages, "Hey, have you seen this CoKane thing?" And then I go, "Dude, that's my friend." It's like, what the fuck?
My mom was at work. She just sent me so many messages about this, and like we've been on the phone. She's like, "Yeah, I was at work today," and like she's very open with all the people that work like under and above her. That like both of her sons and like her adopted son as well. Like we're all wrestlers. My little brother Christian Torrejon, he is starting his way up. He's really figuring it out really fucking quick. Like way quicker than I did, and I'm kind of jealous of him. And Joey Dalton and Stephen Flo here, and fucking myself as well. And we're all wrestling kids. She tells everybody at work about it, and so the clips start popping off on social media, and it's like, oh, it's a funny wrestling clip. I've got to go show my boss, and she'll come up and be like, hey, have you seen this? And she's like, that's my son.
and now
Get out! And they're like running around the cafeteria at work, like, dude, your fucking son is CoKane.
Dude,
Insane.
I think I told Danny this story. So I sell beer for a living, and I was at this bar on the south side one day, and fuck, I can't remember what the name of the bar is, but I'm out there, blah blah blah. I'm waiting for the manager to come out, and a lot of times my shtick is I always try to look at what they have decorated, like personal items, so that I can kind of connect and have like something beyond, hey, I'm
basic
trying to
sales.
sell you beer.
Totally.
Yeah, so I'm like trying to do that, and I turn around and I see a picture of you autographed at the bar. And
Melinda's in Worth.
Yes.
Yes, I know exactly the bar you're talking
And I turn around and I go, what the fuck?
Yes.
And I go,
Barry.
"This
Shout
is-
outs to Barry.
Yes, yes. And I go, you've got to be fucking kidding me. And then he
yeah.
comes out, I'm like, dude, how do you know that? We ended up having this whole conversation about you. It cracked me up because I'm like, there is no way in hell I'm starting out a CoKane.
Right, guy that owns that bar used to be a worker.
Yes, he is.
It's Barry, Battle
Yep.
Royal Barry.
Uh-huh.
Love that.
dude,
guy,
and it's funny because I never knew you were CoKane. And when that video went out, when you were dressed in the black and white, let's say the same Kane gimmick, people that weren't even wrestlers, they just friends of mine that knew I loved wrestling. They were sending me those, like DMing me, like, look at this video. And then I forgot how we brought it up somehow. And he said, yeah, it's crazy how much Quinn is getting, recognized for that. I'm like, for what? He's like, cocaine. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, it's Quinn, right? I'm like, is that Quinn Whittock? I'm like, no, it's not. He's like, yeah, it is. He's like, cocaine is Quinn. I'm like, no, it's not. He's like, dude, that's Quinn, dude. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I'm like, I never fucking knew that.
I had one of my buddies that moved out to Hawaii, Tyler, he ends up texting me. There's like a day or two after like it goes up on Twitter. Like I posted a clip and then somebody screen recorded it and put it on their Twitter, which gets a whole bunch of crazy viral internet like wrestling community traction, and that ends up popping. He sends it to me. My buddy Tyler just moved to, I think, like Oahu, and the clip is in my inbox, and the message underneath it goes, "Tell me this ain't you." I was like, I know that nobody's been talking to you. And we had like 5 people, like outside of like the company JCW, like maybe like 4 or 5, like the people making the gear and like my closer people in my circle and whatever. I'm like, hey, I'm about to go do this cool thing. Like nobody else really like knew about it. And like especially like that it was going to be me doing it. So when he hops in my inbox, he was like, "Is this you? Tell me this isn't you." And I'm like, "How could you tell?" He was like, "The hair, dog." And for some reason, my hair at that point was like super recognizable just because of like how stupidly I had it cut.
Yeah, the hair, and also the telltale times, also always the body movements. So when I saw, because I didn't know it was
Like,
you in the
I've
beginning.
seen that before.
Yes,
Hold on.
exactly. So I saw that match and I go, "What the fuck? No way! No way! That's him, dude!" It got to the point where I opened up some link that somebody sent me, and it was a meme, and there was like the different shades of canes. So then there's like the regular cane,
Like a spectrum.
yes,
Of cane.
yes. And then there's like, boom, the big red machine. And then there's like, I think candy cane. There's blue cane. There was like a mythical green cane. And then there was you and the gain. There was also gain for a while. And I called Danny. I go, "We got to get in on this. Let's do Mexicane." And then he's all like, "Dude, we called somebody to get a gimmick like suit made for Danny." We're like, "We're going to get in on this, but we're going to do it for the podcast. We're not going to do it for wrestling. We're going to do it for the podcast and have him in the background as like Mexicane." And sure enough, the very next week or 2 weeks, we're already talking to gear makers. The very next week or two, somebody pops out with Mexicane. We're like, "God damn it, son of a bitch!"
The joke's hot. Everyone's like quick to it.
Yep,
And,
yeah, exactly, man.
So cocaine came from JCW?
So I did a weekend with JCW, which I will always go ahead and like tell the full honest truth about this. Yabo the Clown and Ruffo the Clown are like the guys that got me in touch with everything to make that happen. I owe them the fucking world.
So that was your idea or JCW's idea?
It was JCW's idea. So I did a weekend with them last July, like the 25th through the 27th. Not this past, but last year.
Okay.
And just me and Yabo were driving through the loop. He was like, "If you want to drive, we'll probably get you booked." And I was like, "Fuck yes, let's go. I would love to." Big ICP mark ever since I was a kid, I'm like, "Dude, let's fucking go. I would love to fucking like meet Jay again and shit." And like, so we go through, do the whole weekend, and I hope you don't mind me saying, Kerry Morton's the guy that like kind of like spotted me out from the weekend. We had a really good conversation after the shows had been over for the weekend, and we didn't exchange, but he grabbed my number, passed it along, and on my ride home, I got a very important call that told me that there may be a job ahead of me, and they kind of detailed what I'd be going through and the gear that I would have to get made, and like I remember hanging up the phone, and I got Yabo in my passenger seat, like in clown mode, and I'm like sitting there, like realizing, like I think I just did it, and I look over, and he's like. He's just
Sleeveless Yabo.
cheesing his ass off with his arms folded, looking at me like, "Yeah, there you go." And like, super freaking cool ass moment. But yeah, Kerry was my. I remember him like pulling me aside and being like, kind of considering keeping you on.
Mm-hmm.
I really like you. Oh, thank you.
That's
Which,
what-
like, coming from, like, the son of, like, one of the fucking Mount Rushmore
Yeah.
guys, you know,
Mhm.
like,
Dude, that's awesome, man. So then, you know, they bring you on as CoKane, this character they want to do. Now, everything you're doing in the ring and, you know, pulling out the bag, you know, that is that ideas are given you, or are you like, are you coming up with those ideas?
Like you giving the character life. That's basically the
Yeah.
idea here.
for the very first time that I did that character, I remember we were in, like, a 6-way scramble for this pay-per-view night before Halloween called Devil's Night.
Mm-hmm.
And there's guys like Tarzan Duran, Mosh Pit Mike, Facade, Simon Gotch, myself, Soul Taker, who used to go by another
Yep.
name that I won't say because I'm not allowed to.
Soul Taker. Why does that sound so familiar?
Oh, I'll tell you after the show, Danny.
He was the Something Else Taker.
Danny.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
That's good stuff. Good
So I
stuff,
remember,
Danny.
like, I had the idea to, like, to incorporate this powder and stuff, but, like, that I will always throw it up to Simon Gotch because he was the guy that, like, oh, dude, you should go for the choke slam, and it doesn't work. But then you reverse out of some other shit, fucking coke the fuck up, and now the choke slam works. And I was like,
Nice.
oh my god, Simon, that's fucking fantastic. So, like, he called that. He, like, if there's anyone to blame, it's Simon Gotch. But he puts the match together and the whole rest of us, and here's what we're all doing. And we go out, and, like, the audience was kind of like, oh yeah, pink cane, oh, and yellow cane for, like, the nights before that we're doing this. I'm like, oh, it'll have a good reception and stuff. But, like, went out and, like, oh no, this is the punchline. We just did, like, a week's worth of setup, and, like, it clicked in my head when I did the entrance that, like, this is the fucking punchline we've been building to this entire time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, fuck, here we go. So I, like, go out there, we do the whole spot and choke slam for the finish, and whatever it gets over. I remember coming back to, like, that was money, great job. I'm like, oh, hopefully I keep my job. And ever since then, it's just been this, like, snowball rolling in 1,000 different directions, but constantly picking up, like, more snow. You know?
Have you ever
Like,
tried to get booked as CoKane in Knoxville, Tennessee? You know who's the mayor of Knoxville, Tennessee, right?
Yes.
Oh, damn, I didn't even put that together.
Mr. Glenn Jacobs.
There, if you remember, during the viral thing, I don't remember if it was Kane, Glenn who said it, but there was a couple of WWE legends that were
Dustin.
that were not happy about.
That's where I was going next. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, how did you feel after that came out? And then you get all these legends and old school wrestlers commenting on your character.
Jonathan Coachman didn't hurt my feelings so much because last time I saw him, DX was spray painting his butt cheeks. So
That's hilarious. I cracked up way before that because I knew that.
Dustin kind of hurt because, like, I remember being a little kid and loving fucking Gold Dust, dude. Like the weird shit, the funny shit, the all around, like, everything he did. I was, like, super fucking into it. The look and, like, because that's not exactly like who that guy is. So he's playing this character. So,
Right.
like, there's always been this innate, like, ability to, like, really respect the work that
Yep.
performers putting into what they're doing. And I find that with drag queens all the time. Like, like when you go, like, shower, you're like, ugh, you're a gross guy, like the rest of us. But then you get on that stage and you are bad, sweetheart.
Ooh, girl, you bad.
Let me see you swing that thing, girl. Come on now. So now, because have you had any issues getting booked as CoKane with other?
There's been a couple, like, places, but for the most part, 90% of places are, like, really cool about it. I'm like, well, you know what I do for this, right? And, like, it's very, like, it's fucking cocaine, dude. Like, you don't want to, like, oh, hey, little kid, drugs. Here's your first introduction to the hard stuff. And, like, it's a little weird for me, like, at first, but, like, that I just a really cool moment that kind of, like, separated all that for me was at the Fab Mania show we just did recently, and this little girl comes up, introduces herself. She's like maybe like 6 or 7. Like someone knocks on like one of the doors by the locker room, and someone's like, "Oh, I'm looking for cocaine. Can we get a picture?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, for sure." Walk out.
We're looking for Yayo.
Go take a picture. And yeah, dude, and that's why like one of the weirdest things. Yeah, you guys know where cocaine is? Like the guy or
We're looking for the perico. Where's it at?
The Periques.
Where's the perico at?
yeah, we get this knock, and I go out to take a picture and like sign an autograph and stuff, and this like grown man standing there, and I'm like, yeah, that's about the target audience, all right. And he's like, yeah, my daughter over here, this little like 6-year-old girl sitting on a bar stool. I'm like, oh no, we're starting them early. God damn it. So like, oh, I don't know, let me just pick up, and I picked up the whole bar stool. We took a picture and shit of her sitting on it, like looking at me, like, oh, what the fuck?
She's like, where's the baggie?
Gave her such like a cool experience that when I went out to go sell merch later, like she came up, like she wanted a shirt, she wanted one of my necklaces, she wanted like another picture with me. Like she ended up like standing by me for like 15 minutes, like while other people were coming up, and I was like talking to other fans. She was just like, "This is my big friend CoKane." That's her parents are over there. It's like, it's okay, man. Like. Fucking kids and the drug thing, and
So,
like, that's the only thing kind of like worries me.
Funny kid story. I think Danny knows this. So, my kid, you've seen my kid backstage before at the POW shows. So at POW, you've never worked as CoKane, and he had seen some videos because I've shown him random stuff. He knows more about wrestling than any little kid should, at his age.
Yeah.
And he's always seen you as Quinn, and he sees. The very first time in person, he sees CoKane, and he saw some of the moves. The next day, because I didn't see him after the show, like I was still there with you guys, and then they went home. The next day, the very first question he asked me, "Hey, Daddy," I'm like, "What's up, dude?" "So yesterday, I got a question." I'm like, "Yeah, what's up?" "Is Quinn Whittock CoKane?" He didn't even say good morning. He didn't say good morning. He didn't say anything. He literally said, "Is Quinn Whittock CoKane?" That was the very first thing he told me the very next day. I was like,
been thinking of it.
I was like, "Give me that, dude." Yes, that is him under that mask. He goes,
"Good job."
I knew it. He walked away going like, "I knew it."
I knew I was smart. You guys tried to trick me, but I knew I was smart.
It's like, I know that guy. I've seen those moves before.
As we start winding down here, because you have a call time in 20 minutes. We start winding down here. So what's next for Quinn Whittock and CoKane? The wrestler, not the drug.
What's next for CoKane and Quinn Whittock? Let's see if we got if I may be so unprofessional to look at these dates so quick.
When are you planning on taking the CoKane character? Are you planning on taking it further?
Yeah. Oh, it's like I said about the snowball, just picking up snow, and like I'm finding. I don't want to say like a new look, but like I'm really getting into my bag about like what this character is, and like
Pun intended bag.
Yeah, right. Caught that. Thank you.
You just went to the UK.
Yes. Oh my gosh. If anybody gets a chance, please log on to Triller TV. Check out TNT Extreme Wrestling over there in Britain. Those guys are insane. They're awesome human beings. If you ever get the chance to go out there, and even if you're like not booked or whatever, like go check out their show, go introduce yourself. The hospitality that these Brits will show you is absolutely off the fucking charts. These guys took such great care of me. They shuttled me around 4 hours. They flew me into London, shuttled me 4 hours to fucking Liverpool, got me taken care of at the show, put me up in a hotel room, shuttled me back to London for my flight back out. Like,
Bro, that's fucking awesome.
Oh my god!
You
dude,
wrestled as Quinn or as CoKane?
I did. I was CoKane. I actually had to get my hands on this guy named Dr. Darwin, who decided to dress up as Hulk Hogan days after.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I was like, oh, here we go. And then we had a surprise run-in from one Gain, and we had a CoKane and Gain stare down. If you guys want to check that out, it's on
Dude,
Twitter.
that's fucking
It's cool as fuck. Really cool to be able to meet Gain and like do something with him. That was such a treat and a privilege.
I didn't realize that game was British.
Yeah, Gain, Blue Cane, they're all
UK guys.
I'm the only American Kane.
How
Outside of Glenn.
Second.
Outside of Glenn. Yeah.
how was
Kane
the
derivative.
how was the crowd?
Fantastic. They were great. Very, very supportive with wanting their T-shirts. Very, very much like let me get a picture, and like we had a little meet and greet thing. I stood in line for like 100 fucking people wanting to get a picture. I'm like, this is fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
You're like, this is
Where
what
did
it's
this
about.
come? Yes.
Yeah.
And it was
Isn't it
going out
wild?
and meet 100 strangers that are excited to see you because they saw a clip of you on like, well,
How do you feel about the fact that you've been at this, obviously cutting your teeth, making sure that you're getting everything right? Like you had those 7 years where you took it really serious. Then after that, Quinn Whittock and The Creature and all this stuff. But it took CoKane for you to be not only a viral sensation, but for you to travel the world now, man.
yeah.
Isn't it wild?
Something like at first that I was kind of like tongue in cheek about, but like it's a privilege. It's a total privilege to be able to experience like life on this ride that I've been put on or whatever. I like to say it's just like hard work and a little bit of luck, and like the luck is when like opportunity and preparedness meet each other. You know? Like nuts, dude, absolutely nuts that I put in like so many years of like hard work being like a wrestling purist and make sure that looks real as possible. Yeah, just pull out a baggie and they'll fly.
Throw the mechanics out the window, dog. Just bring in the bag.
You mentioned Yabo earlier. I've had numerous conversations. Yabo has always been very into his characters from when he was doing Thunderfoot to now Yabo and all that. He's always
was very cognizant of that, like, your character is what's gonna like.
Exactly.
You can get you over, but your character will put you.
Yes. You talk to his brother, to Ruffo, and the funniest thing is, he, much like you, Mr. Purist. He wanted to go out there and have the best match on the card.
Many conversations with him about that.
Yes.
Yep.
I love it, dude. When they started going everywhere with the clown gimmick, I love Rick. His son is a couple months younger than mine. We've had these conversations forever. And I asked him one day, I said, isn't it wild that you finally hit what you've been looking for forever, but you're not the character that you've been working on for years?
I always say, like, in life, you might not get what you want, but be very cognizant and like aware of the fact that like even if you do get what you want, it's not going to come how you wanted it because you're so focused on like what that you're not thinking about the other hows.
Yeah, you and him have a lot of parallels on that aspect.
I want to be a big star in wrestling. Yeah, but you got to pull out a fucking bag. I want to be a big star in wrestling. Yeah, well, you and your brother are going to dress up like clowns and juggle and like, well, fucking you're doing it, aren't you? So like,
that's true though, man.
He's one of the first people that's always like telling me like, yo, Rough Crossing was good. Rough Crossing was a great wrestler. Rough Crossing don't draw shit like how Ruffalo and Yamamoto
Yep.
do.
Yeah.
And like he's the first person to say that, and like his awareness of it kind of brings a stronger awareness of mine, my own, and like I don't know, and it's a very big privilege to have those guys around and have them as like mentors and stuff. That wouldn't have any of this without them.
Dude, it's wild when we think about where those guys came from. We're all POW guys. You obviously joined in the POW family, and to have those guys not only make it, be out there and wave the flag of the Chicagoland world, pro wrestling
going
world.
To the Crash in like
awesome.
Atlanta, going down to Juarez every night, like oh my god, dude,
It's
they're
nuts,
living
dude.
it.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah,
It's
bro.
wild, man. And you're on their tails, man. That character that you got going on, it's gonna do wonders for you, man.
Much appreciated.
And it's great to see you there, man. We wish you the best of luck with all that, brother. We really do, man.
Very,
And
very thankful to be here and have you guys. I feel like we just had like really great conversation.
yeah, bro. We can go longer too, but I know you got a call time to meet, man. We don't want to ruin that for
I
you.
got more free days in upcoming weeks, and we don't come back and do
bro.
Let's finish off this like this. As Quinn Whittock and now as CoKane, two different characters. What are your favorite moments of your career thus far as Quinn and as CoKane?
I'm gonna say CoKane was probably we say Britain, right? You went over there, Britain.
Yeah, so I'll put together like a quick top 3 for both because I feel like singling out one for either is like excluding a whole lot of great fucking people. Top 3 for CoKane, fucking wrestling Drake Younger in a singles match in front of a hot ass Albuquerque crowd. I had no idea how to, like, though I remember being in the ring and like, I'm fucking in here with fucking Drake Younger, and he came back and seemed like very satisfied with what we did, so like that's feather in the hat for me. There's that. First time tagging with Stephen Flow at JCW is CoKane and Stephen Flow, Flowkane. Because that, like, for anybody that doesn't know, back when it was like Quinn Whittock and Joey Dalton, we were tagging for years. And then we broke up our tag team called Death Wish and went on to do singles things. Then we both get hired and they tag us together. And I'm like, fuck,
nice.
I just can't get away from you.
That's awesome.
So like that is like, oh, fuck, dude, like getting to share that with like your OG homie from, oh my God, like we made it out the mud together. So, and then probably like number one moment for CoKane is going to be that Devil's Night pay-per-view where it came out and did the gimmick for the first time, did the Coke Slam for the first time, and like it was new, it was fresh, and it was like the hot joke on Twitter was all these different Kane variations, and I feel like this was the one that like uppercut the punchline. You know? And so those are my top 3 for CoKane, my top 3 for Quinn. I'm filling the number 1 spot first because I haven't mentioned him yet, and I absolutely fucking adore this man with all of my being. Joey Jet Avalon and I fucking wrecked like a 30-minute main event in Joliet for Rocket Pro. We won match of the year, and they never invited him back.
Damn.
The fuck? Hey, I know you killed it, but we don't need you back.
You can go on YouTube, Quinn Whittock, Joey Avalon, Rocket Pro Wrestling, and like, dude, it's like a 35-minute, like monstrous, like every trick that both of us have, all of them, like bleeding into each other. I'm going for things that end up in his things. He's going for things that, like, it's like we've been wrestling each other for years, and this was the second time we ever fucking worked. And it was just buttery smooth. That's like my number 1, like my favorite like Quinn Whittock moment that I've had was like just wrestling him in front of like 450 people at St. Joe's.
Joey doesn't get the recognition that he does, but I look at his body work and I feel like he's like a Swiss Army knife. Yeah. That guy can work with any fucking body.
Doesn't break, reliable, got a tool for every fucking thing, dude. Like, so yeah, that's my number 1.
One of the very few times he ever worked at Power, he worked with him.
Yeah. I remember him and Shogun at a POW like in the last like year or two. Fucking phenomenal job, dude. I was sitting there like hugging the monitor, watching them like, fuck, these boys are eating it up. Moment is Quinn Whittock. There's a match I had with Joey Dalton that no video of it exists, and it is in our heads the hottest match we have ever and probably will ever have. And like, no videos, no clips of it exist anywhere. One of the first times he hits a 630 for a finisher, and like the whole fake the injury thing and a whole bunch of back and forth. Those moments are great. I'm gonna put in my number 3 spot. And I'm sorry if I missed anybody. The number 3 spot for Quinn Whittock's experiences was my first singles match at JCW was July 27th of last year against Mosh Pit Mike. And that's the match that, like, in my head got me hired. So, like, I always hold that very, like, and Mosh is such an easy guy to work with, dude. Mike's a sweetheart until he doesn't need to be.
Oh, there you go, man.
Yeah, there's my top 3.
Oh yeah, bro. Oh yeah, man. Thanks again for coming and hanging out with us, brother. We hope you had a good time, man.
Oh, thank you guys for having me.
Yeah,
it's been a blast.
I appreciate it, man. Before we head up out of here, man, drop your socials, bro. Where can people find you?
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Juggalo Snowman, JUGGALO Snowman, SNOWMAN. Juggalo Snowman, because I had the actual gimmick name and then meta wiped all of my shit. I had like 20,000 followers and I got rid of all of you and I'm working it back up. Juggalo Snowman, please.
Juggalo Snowman. There you go, man.
Goddamn Facebook.
Yeah. No, we want to give a big special thanks to Quinn for coming and hanging out with us today, man. Big special thanks to our sponsors, the Law Office of Christopher Hoff. We also have Wrestling Tees, the brothers all the way in Canada. And we have Chi-Town Effects Tattoo and the Lucha Libre Superstore. Don't forget to follow us on social media. Salud Cabrones Podcast. Quinn, this is the part of the episode where we sign off with a toast. We just raise up our beverages and we say Salud Cabrones. Can you say that?
Salud, cabrones.
Oh, okay, there you go.
He's been hanging out with the clowns, and the clowns have been in Mexico quite a lot. Yeah. So I can see what's going on here.
So we'll probably keep it for like the next time I come back. But my little brother's Cuban. So
okay, there you go.
I grew up around a lot of Hispanic faces.
There you go.
My R's roll very well.
They did go good, but no, yeah. So on the count of three, we'll sign off with that toast. So you ready?
Absolutely, sir.
1, 2, 3. Salud, cabrones. We out.